4, 3. Hit the clacker, Joe. Welcome back to the final match of the first round. Today, we have the one, the only Galen Marek, also known as Starkiller, Darth Vader's secret apprentice from Star Wars, The Force Unleashed. Fighting off against... Who is your character, Andrew? Armadon from
God of the Earth in Primal Rage.
Primal Rage. A very forgettable game. It was great.
I'd like to bring out the fact that it was very, very hard to find a picture for Armadon.
Yeah,
There's all of, 3 online?
And they're very low quality.
would play fighters. I would constantly give Primal Rage and Killer Instinct confused for each other.
I'm giving it a hard time. I do appreciate the choices. I just had to play down the Armadon piece. So, who is the higher seed on this one?
Starkiller. By a lot.
Wow.
Right. Heads or tails?
Are we doing real coin or fake coin?
We're going to go real coin for this one. It deserves it.
Tails.
It's going against the odds.
Heads.
It's heads.
So I will allow Ryan to go first here. Real quick, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Starkiller at this point in the tournament. Starkiller, good or bad?
This is like end of the game before the final fight. I mean, obviously before the final fight. Starkiller, but he's like ready to go in. First one. This is like OG actual Force adept human Starkiller.
No clone.
That's why I asked.
Yeah, not potentially like 8 millionth clone. Yeah, this is the one. I guess I'll just start from there. This is the Starkiller that at an extremely young age stole a lightsaber out of one of the strongest Force users to ever be in the game. Took it right out of his hand while he was in the middle of battle about to strike somebody down. At a young age, not even trained, never been trained. It was his first time using it. Fucking stole this lightsaber right out of Darth Vader's hand. Right after Darth Vader had just destroyed an entire Wookiee world, at the very least in my playthrough, almost entirely through the Force. So, I mean, that is a powerful Force user from the jump. Then he was trained by a robot that is trained to kill Jedis, specifically how to fight and, like, become better. He fought against simulations of the greatest Jedi masters in sword fighting, lightsaber fighting that there ever were, mastered a lot of their styles. And he, at times, he bested Darth Vader. He's gone toe-to-toe with Darth Sidious. 2 of the greatest lightsaber duelists ever, especially in the Sith world. And 2 of the strongest Force users ever. Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, said to be the strongest Force user that the Jedi had ever seen up to that point. And went toe-to-toe with him. Not only that, his biggest feat, he pulled a Star Destroyer out of the sky. It's like 400,000 tons of steel. This boy tore out of the sky while fighter jets were still swooping down on him, and he was taking them out of the air with the Force and smashing them into each other. This guy is, like, very powerful, and he's up against, what, a Triceratops? You kidding me? With one thing of the Force, I could yeet that guy into the stratosphere, throw him into the sun. I wouldn't even have to try that hard. I could pull 400,000 tons out of the sky. I could put 4 tons into the sky for sure. Team Rocket's blasting off again. That's what I say. And I guess with that, I'm gonna have a lightsaber that cuts through everything. But with that, I rest my time.
He did get lightsaber in there.
So, to start off my time, I am going to correct a couple of fallacies here from Ryan. First off, Armadon is a Tristegosauratops. And second off, a Star Destroyer weighs 40 million tons. And that's exactly why I'm forfeiting. I I have been thinking for 2 weeks that I am forfeiting this matchup. It is insanely clear. My dinosaur god is 17 feet tall and weighs 2.2 tons. We're even debating here. Like, this fucking guy can move a Star Destroyer. There's no way.
What kind of species was it?
Tristegoceratops.
Tristega.
Yeah, it's a combination of the three. But so I mean,
Tristegosaurus.
Still counting two.
we're his like, and the other thing, the reason I asked if he's a good guy or not is Armadon's the goddess of the earth, and the only reason Armadon enters the fighting tournament is to restore peace to the earth. If this is good guy Starkiller, Armadon's not going to want to fight him because Armadon's going to be like, this guy can fucking do more than I can to restore peace and balance. So Armadon's going to be like, all right, fuck it, I'm going back to bed underground and not even going to fucking try. I have, like, ever since this matchup got pulled, I have been debating how Armadon can win. Armadon can't, and so I've known all along who's going to forfeit this match.
Are we going to let him forfeit? Because I feel like if...
Joe, let me tell you this real quick. If you don't let me forfeit, and you all vote for Starkiller, then this whole episode, in the length that you're adding to it, is pointless.
I mean...
Pointless. Absolutely pointless.
If you knew the characters, you knew Spy wasn't going to be
I'm just saying.
The Goat Simulator character, but... You know,
All right, let me tell you the only 99 times out of 100 Starkiller wins this battle. Let me tell you the one way Armadon can win. Tango. Can Starkiller be hypnotized or have his mind controlled? You could make an argument there.
In like the universe of the Force, he's like sort of brainwashed by like Darth Vader when he was a kid. However, like if we're talking about like magic influences, then like he wouldn't be like Force persuasion wouldn't work on him. So I guess it kind of depends on what you mean. Of like, is he susceptible to?
So, all right, you want me to fucking go through it, Joe? I'll go through it. So,
yeah,
all right,
we've had upsets before.
It's not gonna win. It's not gonna happen.
So
thank you, Jordan, for putting me right over there. Like I said, Armadon can use telepathy to convince people to do its bidding. One thing in its arsenal is it is massively hypersonic somehow. I don't know how. All the dinosaurs in the game are super fast.
even God is mad.
Massively hypersonic. He is also the god of thunder, so he can control lightning and
You're hearing it
electric
now.
currents. So he could use force lightning to shoot at him. Some of his attacks, bed of nails, he balls up like a porcupine with his spikes on the outside, and it makes him invulnerable to ranged attacks. So like his lightsaber wouldn't be able to hurt him. Iron Maiden, he jumps into the air and turns his back downward to land on his opponent with his spikes out, goring him, killing him instantly. Uppercuts, kills people with his horn that he rams. He can shoot spikes out of his tail, all willy-nilly, just non-stop. I'm going to put a pause real quick because I see Tango.
Chucky.
I'll pause.
Okay, buddy.
And I'll start again at flying spikes. I'm not even going to move. Not going to move. Wahoo!
You're recording again.
So like I said, shoot spikes from his tail.
It's okay, buddy.
He has meditation where he curls up into a ball again, but this time he's radiated with electricity that if he gets touched, it zaps his opponent to death. Impaler can shoot spikes into the air, which go into his opponent like spears. Like I said, 17 feet tall, 2.2 tons, massively hypersonic. Range, several meters with most attacks. Intelligence, he's the smartest of the gods. And, it says he's immortal in the sense that he can't die from old age. His durability, he's able to take hits from other giant dinosaur gods without dying. And You know what? Apparently, soul manipulation as well. As a sorcerer, he can remove people's souls from their body. We'll throw that into the mix as
All right.
well. Hey,
So,
It's rebuttal time, correct?
I mean, yeah, go on.
This will be fun rebuttal.
I would just like to say on the speed factor, because I still have to fight this. If this is an actual competition, I'm not just going to roll over. Starkiller can grab fighters out of the, like, TIE fighters, like the jets that fly through space at, like, hyper speed. He can grab those out of the air and smash them on the ground with the Force. So I think the hypersonic is kind of a moot point because Jedi can, like, future sight things. That's how Anakin was able to pod race. Not only that, but this is the god of Earth, and I'm pretty sure if I yeet the god of Earth into the space with 40 billion tons worth of energy, I feel like a lot of the power of the god of Earth is going to be going away. No matter how much of my soul they try to take from that time, I think I'm going to get them, at least on the other side of Uranus before anything actually happens.
You make a hell of a good point. But, I mean, telepathy, we can shut you down for just a little bit to get a spike right through your chest. You launch me 40 million tons worth of energy into the sky. At some point, I'm controlling my... You can control his trajectory and land spike first back into you. All right. What's up? What do you got?
Anybody have questions?
I have questions.
What? Hold on. This is still rebuttal time. I can dodge spikes. There's, like, the whole Jedi thing where they shoot laser beams at them. You can deflect those with the lightsaber. Spike's not shit.
Hold on.
I can deflect laser beam bullets back at the person who shot them at me.
Now, hold on. My question actually deals with some of this.
Oh, no.
So, first question, and all these are for Tango. What ending, even though it's right before the end of the first game, what is this Starkiller's endgame? Are they killing Vader and becoming the Dark Apprentice, or are they teaming up and killing the Emperor?
Killing the Emperor.
Okay, so then canonically, they die to a backstab by Darth Vader and essentially become a clone later. So...
But this is before that happens.
But this does imply that Starkiller can and does indeed die. That's the first thing. Second thing, isn't it true in Force Unleashed, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so I'm going deep on this one. Doesn't he also take hits and damage in general, even though they're not deadly, but he does take damage?
Yeah, he can. But once again, he can also, any individual fighter, he can throw into the fucking stratosphere or hurl into a wall with enough force to snap their neck.
But
he can throw him into the sun. It's not that hard. Like, he could just yeet him straight at the sun.
To use that said power, isn't it also true that he has to focus on that particular thing? Thinking about the way the mechanics of the game work, you can't just randomly pull out starships coming at you and fighters. You have to... There's a warning to the player that, hey, this thing can be manipulated with the Force, which implies that Starkiller has to focus his abilities.
Sure.
So, if he's focusing...
Hold. I will say as well, he can, as far as like that kind of stuff is focusing stuff, he can also do this against Jedi who are throwing things at him. He can pick them up and he can throw them around with a lot of force.
True.
Which Jedi, I would say, can hurl things and with more intelligence and more guidance than probably a spike would be coming at. And not only that, like I said, he can be shot while that's happening as well. I'm just going to defend myself. I'm defending myself. I'm going down swinging.
I'm just saying, Dinosaur God Sorcerer, who's the most intelligent of them, I'm just saying if Starkiller needs to focus, I'm thinking there's a chance. A slim chance. It's not like a 100% chance. It's a slim, 1% chance that Armadon is getting a spike fatally through Starkiller.
Whoa. Alright, I don't know if this changes anything here.
Any other judge questions?
I have other questions.
I have a question.
What's he gonna tell us?
Well, hold on.
So it's been a while since I played the game, so I don't really remember. But there's an argument that he doesn't pull down the Star Destroyer; that he just directs it as it's coming down. I don't know if that changes anything. I still feel like that's a lot
No,
of.
it's floating in space, and he pulls it straight down, like, to the ground.
And
Like, the
as,
wreckage is floating up there, and he pulls the wreckage down.
as
I see. I just couldn't remember, and that's why I was like,
you know, he
trying to see
fucking
it.
pulls the whole damn thing.
I have questions about Armadon.
You know what, Joe? Shoot, I will answer them honestly and kindly.
Please, thank you.
I don't know.
Tell me about the soul, like the soul extraction ability. You can like pull people's souls out.
Yeah. So all the dinosaur gods have servants and tribes of humans that worship them. And in game, there's a couple things. Every dinosaur has the ability to eat their servants to regain health.
Mm-hmm.
Armadon can also do that, but Armadon also has the soul snatch ability, where they can steal souls from their opponent's humans to refill their health.
So he can't steal souls from his opponents directly. It has to be from his people around his opponent.
In the game, he only fights dinosaurs, and they're all gods, so they can't have their souls
And they'll have like humans worshiping him.
Every human can have their soul stolen in game by
I'm
us.
trying to take this boy's
Okay.
hole.
It sounds
Literally
so.
what he does.
It does sound like he could steal Starkiller's soul, because for all in, I know it's a galaxy far, far away, a long time ago, whatever. For all intents and purposes, the main characters in Star Wars are basically humans.
If I may,
That's
like,
interesting.
make a point here
Yeah.
about souls, because in Star Wars, canonically, you can make your Force ghost exist after you die, so the Force is inherently kind of in your soul. I would just like to say that. So I would say that does fall under Force ability in some way.
And I do think by the end of the series, he is a Force ghost, correct?
I think he does becomes one after he gets stabbed in the back, if memory serves.
When you say you say Armadon is like he can
I don't
move
remember that, to be honest.
speeds.
Yeah.
Like tell me anything else about that. Tell me
He
more
moves at
about-
hypersonic speed.
But like Mach 1, like Mach
Hypersonic!
1,000, like
Massively hypersonic. All right,
massively.
we figured it out for
hypersonic.
Lanky Kong.
What was it, Mach 7?
Something like that.
I looked up hypersonic and it was Mach 5 or more. They said over 3,000.
Over 3,000.
Massively hypersonic. We'll put it Mach 7. Boom.
And
50 times that of sound.
You know what, Joe? You can figure that out yourself. Yeah, but yes.
Ryan, were you saying there's a way that Starkiller can manipulate stuff moving at hypersonic speeds?
Yeah, like the actual like fighter jets and stuff. He's seeing like grabbing them out of the air as they're flying by, shooting the blasters at him. So like the TIE fighters that like they use in like the movies and stuff. He can grab those out of the air as they're flying past him, like shooting at him, doing like bombing runs and stuff. Like even in space when they're like,
Yeah, I think in space they're reasonably moving that.
Jordan, do you have any questions?
I have one question for you, Andrew, just the semantics. You stated in the beginning that Armadon is a goddess, then changed to god. Which one is it?
So, in the game manual, it was always goddess, which is why I never selected Armadon, because I liked the god dinosaurs better. But on the wiki, it says god. But in the in-game manual, it said goddess.
I mean, God can be gender
All right,
neutral.
now we're getting into a debate.
Let's-
But you are correct, Joe.
That's
If we're going by game manual, goddess.
Okay.
The person that typed up the wiki, god.
Which could have been Armadon for all we know.
Yeah. She's still sleeping.
Maybe a server.
Any other questions before we get to voting?
My only question is, what is Starkiller's defense against Armadon extracting the soul?
like I said, like like this. There's some level of like the Force is in your soul type of thing. And it is like a thing that's like, that's why they meditate, is to like center their soul in themselves. That's why you can't do the Jedi mind trick on other Jedis. It doesn't really work. It's because like they have like centered themselves and their soul. Like they're monks. Like their whole thing is like finding a oneness within yourself. And so I think through his Jedi training, he would have a fairly good resistance to their like control over his soul through the Force.
We don't have the time for me to dive into deep Star Wars lore and give an explanation.
Yeah, but I've made my decision.
Hold on. Oh, we gotta do the drum roll. Joe.
I mean, it was really close. It was much closer than I thought it was going to be. But I got to go with Starkiller. Armadon has more abilities than Andrew, I think, first gave credit for. I thought this was basically just a glorified dinosaur, which Starkiller could have easily defeated. With all these extra supernatural powers, it got much closer. What it came down to for me was that Starkiller does have some inherent defense against Armadon just magically extracting his soul and, like, by definition, technically killing him. If you can't do that, then I think all the obvious things that Starkiller has over Armadon still let him win out.
I would like to vote last. So.
All right. Jordan, go ahead. Shoot your shot.
Damn it, I was going to defer to last.
Come on, shoot your shot.
So one of the things that this is one of those instances where we said that the character can go massively hypersonic, and it didn't matter. As we've said before, Anakin had the ability to sort of pre-perceive actions. He had precognition inside of a pod racer. And as we said, as a child, Starkiller had quicker instincts than Vader. So this is a man that is preconceiving faster than a human being, a human-like character that shouldn't have even been able to pod race. And he's got faster reflexes than him. It's got to go to Starkiller. It doesn't matter how fast. This is one of those times where speed is killed with speed.
All right, so you two both want to go last.
I'll go first. Oh,
He's going first last.
Yeah. So, no lie, I had my pick before this match even began. And I definitely, I tried to help Andrew argue better. But my vote's for Starkiller. I knew right away, just the way the cookie crumbles. But I had to go hard against Starkiller as one of the major Star Wars nerds of this group. I see pathways that Armadon can win, but overall, Starkiller wins out most of the time. It's of all the multiple universes Doctor Strange looked into, there's only one where they win. Yeah, it was not going in Armadon's favor. It was going to be Starkiller.
No, that's exactly where my vote was too.
But you're not voting, Jordan.
So my vote no longer matters. But I was actually going to vote for Armadon.
Holy shit!
I think Andrew underplayed its abilities, and I kind of begrudgingly actually gave out its actual powers, and I feel like underplayed it. I wanted to vote for Starkiller originally because I feel like that was kind of the heavy favorite. However, I feel like Armadon, being a dinosaur and is very heavily armored, would be a very good counter, more so. And plus, I wanted to be really funny to see Andrew face Andrew. But that no longer matters because Starkiller wins.
Well, Jordan, I appreciate your vote. And I guess closing remarks here from the competitors. I really don't know what we're debating. Again, we're talking 40 million tons using the Force versus a 2-ton creature. I mean, we're not just talking he can yeet him into the galaxy. We're talking he could probably just smush Armadon like a bug. Honestly, to be fair, Starkiller probably kills almost every single person in those first rounds.
I'm just going to say if a Rancor could canonically, technically kill Starkiller, Starkiller, so could Armadon.
A Rancor couldn't even kill Luke Skywalker.
That's because they're not
With the
intelligent. But
Couldn't even kill.
with intelligence, we're looking at Armadon is essentially a very intelligent Rancor. I'm just putting it out there.
I will say as well, most of the stipulations I chose were specifically about how hilarious I thought it would be to have Starkiller try to do those things. So most of the stipulations that I have picked out are kind of at least inherently not things he would be good at. So I think from here on, it's very interesting.
Yes.
With that being said, taking a look at who we've all got left in this fight, every single person has 2 characters in the fight still,
Except
for Ryan, who is going in completely undefeated after the first round. But
thanks, Tipper.
as we all know, with the second round here, things are about to get a little crazy.
The stipulations.
We're going to add gimmicks to these matches. And just as a little bit of a preview, maybe tell us, Alex, some of these things that we could see in these next rounds.
That's fair. So potentially we could see our fighters duking it out with a Pokemon battle. They're not even fighting themselves. That is a possibility. We also have, we've seen in the past where a time bomb was lit, and at the end of the time, if no winner was picked, simply both would lose, and Bomberman came in. Carmen Bomberman, that was an eventual piece, but
Carmen Bomberman ended up winning after never being in the tournament.
So I'm just saying, just because a character did not make it into this tournament doesn't mean that they couldn't possibly show up as a contestant in the second wave of this. Moving on, we could see GLaDOS return and somehow become the champion. Heck, we could see Tom Nook with his sniper rifle come out of retirement one last time.
This could be eating contest. This could be playing Risk. This could be a steel cage match.
This could be a Slappers Only steel cage chess match. Fuck you, Carmen Bomberman. Like, legitimately, the way our stipulations work, it's random. We don't know what they're going to be until the time of the match, and it could heavily favor one character or not at all benefit anyone.
So favorites at the moment could be gone in this second round, not even making it to the semifinals.
Regardless of stipulations, my favorite matchup is Geralt versus Pilgor. Followed slightly by Olimar versus Gino. Because will Olimar's mass advantage of tiny people matter depending on the stipulation? Oh.
Yeah, if I'm being completely honest, those are some exciting ones. I am definitely excited to see what stipulation's going to come out for Earthworm Jim versus Starkiller.
Yeah, I get to go against Starkiller again. That'll be fucking fun.
But you have cartoon logic, so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. Star Wars logic versus cartoon logic. Who wins? It's a clown bonanza for everybody.
If I could be super Star Wars nerd, I can argue that one. Anyway, but yeah, no, we got our first. We have our whole entire first round completed.
And then we get Pac-Man versus the Thought.
And traditionally, we are at the point where we would be starting in previous years.
Yes. So, with that being said, thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for
second round matchups.
Second round stipulation.
Since I did forfeit first, Armadon is still alive. So, we come back.
What do you say?
Since I forfeited, Armadon is still technically alive. So,
yeah,
Armadon ain't dead. Keep a lookout.
Neither is several characters.
The rest of them are dead. The rest of them are murdered. Tom Nook is dead, sadly, because Mario was a dick.
Good.
Mario stomped his fucking head in.